Hi, welcome back to Gamescape 3D. Today we're going to take a quick look at our inn that we're going to be releasing on Patreon in the month of February. This is a 3-story inn with a 3rd story that can repeat as many times as you want. The roof on top will also fit on top of the 2nd story or the 1st story if you want to make a shorter building. Okay, we're going to start from the bottom and then build our way up. Let's get started. Before we take a closer look at the main building, I want to go over a raw print real quick so you can see the basic concept for each section. The building prints in 2 halves that can fit very comfortably on an 8-inch build plate. What you'll have in each section is a couple of different notching mechanisms, okay? On one side you'll have a negative, you'll have little notches sticking out, okay? And this is the mechanism we have to help you align these things when you glue them together. The gluing is optional. Just like the last one, we'll also be using these mini stacking pegs. If you put them in too far, it goes all the way through, so you can just use a nail set or whatever and pop them back out if you hammer them in a little bit too much. Each floor will be cut at about the 1/3 wall level. Okay, and the purpose of this is to allow players around the table to be able to see into the building without having to stand up and look inside to see what's going on. Okay, and it also happens to be a great place to cut these walls just for the purpose of making your printing a little less stressful. Okay, here's our first layer. We're going to have a slide-in door right here. We have 2 fireplaces. You'll notice the pegs are going through the fireplaces here. I'll include some pegs that are a little longer than the standard woods I give out. That way you can be sure that you have a good grip inside that stacking peg hole to grip the layer above. Okay, I haven't bothered gluing mine, but there's no reason you can't. It's probably going to be most useful to glue the 2nd layer that sits on top of this. Anyways, these just stack right on and we build our way up. Now we have sort of a standard height floor. I think it's 58 millimeters on that wall there. And here's our kitchen. We got 2 double ovens at both sides, and I'll have a whole line of kitchen furniture as well. Here's one of the things I test printed. Let's see if that light will dim down a little bit. Some Adirondack style primitive sort of log tables that'll have various things on them. Anyways, above this level we have sort of a public room area. I'll have a bar that you can print up and use in there, along with some tables. The main fireplace will be right there, so it's just a large open room. You can use it for all kinds of things. All right. Here it is with the full walls. Now you can see every layer of stairs. The stairs are big enough to be playable, but they're only real going up. The entrance to each level is a pseudo door. And it was either that or I would have to have alternate staircases on either side, and I just didn't feel like adding the print time over a staircase. I'm going to adjust the camera now and we'll start getting into the upper level. Okay, this is the 3rd layer, and this layer is repeatable. Technically, the 3rd layer can also sit on top of the 1st layer if you want. The 2nd layer can only be on the 2nd layer. That's really the only thing you need to remember about that. Now the third layer, we have a bit of a jigsaw here where these floors kind of slide together. If you have your nozzle tight on your print bed, you're likely going to need to take some sandpaper or a razor and cut off any excess filament that kind of squeezes out when the printer's putting down that first level. Okay? The tolerance on this is fairly tight, but it helps with the alignment, and it really fits together pretty nice, and that's without any glue. So this is our first layer right here. Like I said before, we're going to have slide-in doors on this. We have 3 rooms on this layer. The doors are just insert style. Previous to this, I always did functional doors, but this way, you know, you can have your doors while you're playing these cut levels. This is really the only way I could see to do it. Then we have a porch door right up here. All right. Now, this is paintable. It's not a ton of fun. I did it all right, but I'm also going to be supplying an option that you saw earlier where this porch is cut off, and then you can glue it on if you want to. And like I said, it's totally paintable either way. It's just a matter of preference. I thought with the porch detached, it might offer some more play options and be a little more comfortable for people who are particular about their paint jobs. The other thing I would mention is that all of these windows are slotted on top, so if you want to slide colored plastic in there, you'll be able to do that. Okay, so here's our repeating third floor. Now, the roof comes in 2 parts. The first part is just these base. I advise you to take these base plates and set them on top of the building and then stack the roof on from there. The plates do not align with the roof peg system, okay? So if you try to line up the roof in the base, it might cause confusion. So I'm just going to assemble this. Easy way to remember is that these beams point forward. Okay. Okay, so there's our base structure for the roof. And then we got these tiny little pegs here. And I don't know how easy you can see it, but we got tiny little pegs in these roofs, and then it just sets on. You can see when I get it on there that this first section of roof is actually sticking out from behind this piece. That's the way it's supposed to be. And the reason I did that is because there's no reason not to glue this all together, the base with the roof. But, you know, there's also no reason to glue it together either. And jigsawing it like this makes it real easy for people who want to glue it together, and it makes it real easy for people who don't want to glue it together. So that is why I settled on this design. Okay, so there it is with the roof. There's the whole thing. All right, folks, that is the end of our preview for the inn. We will be releasing it at the beginning of February. It will have a whole bunch of furniture coming out with it, and there will be expansions for it coming out in March. Thanks for stopping by, and we will see you next time. Good night.